Hey, everybody, it's Robert C. Stern with The Social Leader. Thanks for coming on. And for all you guys watching on the replay, I thank you for watching. I have a special guest, which I was just thinking about the other day. I met him actually the last week of March, first week of April, when we hit live streaming together.
That's right.
Good old Periscope. Our first few weeks of what is this? Name is Mark Kaye with the Mark Kaye Show down in Jacksonville, Florida. So, Mark, thanks for coming on.
Robert, thank you again for having me. I can't believe March will be 1 year since we've been Periscoping. It literally seems like just yesterday.
I know. It's like, and what has been accomplished in that year has been unbelievable because of live streaming.
No, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. The fact that people have glommed onto Periscope so quickly and with such passion. I mean, it is incredible. And we've got 2 Periscope summits in the first year. That's amazing. Are you going to San Francisco?
I will be there. I'm going to Arizona on Sunday, and then I'm flying into San Francisco Tuesday night.
What's happening in Arizona?
I am doing my own events, social media events, the tour, the 20.
That's right, around the world with Robert C. Stern. I remember.
And it starts this week. So I'm going there and then going straight up to San Francisco, come home, and then I'll be home a week, and then I got to head back out again. So
when are you coming to Florida?
I'm coming to Florida for the month of February. We got 4 cities in there, and Jacksonville is one of them. So,
get out. All right, good. I'll let you take me to lunch. That'll be very exciting.
You'll let me? Oh, thank you so much. Do they have White Castle down there? No.
We have Crystal. Yeah, it's very similar.
Okay. I figured White Castle, Dollar Burger. That'll do for you.
That's exactly right.
It's like a Snapchat meal.
Yeah, little
ones. So, what I wanted to talk about with you is because, one of the things, obviously, you're very much into social media. And well, explain to everybody what you do because, not everybody knows you. Some people know you and don't want to speak to you again, but that's another whole thing.
Yeah, no, I'm a radio host. I have 2 radio shows. One is a daily show here in Jacksonville, Florida, and the other is a nationally syndicated talk show which airs on Sunday nights in several states. And then I really was, with social media, I've been on Twitter and Facebook, and it comes with the territory. But a couple of years ago, I was introduced to something called Snapchat, and I very couckly realized that I suck at art. So drawing photos, like all the big wigs, they draw these great pictures, and I tried to do that, but I couldn't do it. So I reverted back to the only skill that I have, which is interviewing people and hosting a talk show. And I created a show called Talkin' Snap, where I interviewed other Snapchatters and Viners and musicians like Flo Rida and Charlie XCX and Kevin Jonas, who've come through the radio station. And that really kind of took off for me. Within about 6 months, I had thousands and thousands of viewers, and Business Insider did a piece on me. MTV featured me in their news blog. So it really that really kind of solidified my position with Snapchat. And then, as you pointed out, March of last year, it was funny. I was in Orlando, Florida. I was at a convention, and I was about to speak to a group of people about Snapchat. At 2:00 p.m., I had to talk to a group about Snapchat. And at 7 a.m., I woke up, downloaded Periscope, and spent the entire day on it. I had to walk in the room and go, what the hell am I? Oh, Snapchat, right. Before that, let me tell you what I've been doing all day. Called Periscope. So then I split my time between Snapchat and Periscope and tried to find, we experimented in the early days. There was a lab.
God. I remember the lab.
Yeah, we had wires plugged into every part of our phone. I spent like $500 on Amazon trying to rig up all this equipment. And in the end, Alex Pettit did it all for free. So it was kind of
good old Alex Pettit.
That's and then
takes the 22-year-old kid to just come over and say, "No, Mark, just do this."
Yeah, just do that. But so that's kind of where we are today.
I know. It's been crazy. So now, when did you start on Snapchat?
I started on Snapchat in 2014. Okay. The first time I downloaded Snapchat was like 2013 when it just came out. And I played with it for 17 minutes and said, this is dumb, and deleted it. Then in 2014, in June or July, I read an article in Forbes about 3 guys who were making $100,000 a month on Snapchat. And so I thought to myself, I should probably download this. And I downloaded it, and that's when I really gave it some thought. Talkin' Snap, the very first episode that I debuted was in September of 2014. So it's been like a year and a couple months. That is, this, and a year and a couple months in Snapchat is like a decade, as you know. So it's been, it seems like a lot longer than it actually is.
That's true. What is they're asking already? What's your handle on Snapchat?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's Mark Kaye, MarkKaye, just like you see it up there in the corner, only without the space. It's very confusing because on Twitter I'm Mark Kaye Show. I couldn't get Mark Kaye. There's another Mark Kaye in California who's a new age synthesizer player. And since stuff started, we've been battling everything. He got Twitter, but I managed to get everything else. Oh, he also got YouTube, which sucks.
You guys should come on Blab together. No. Hi, it's Mark Kaye and Mark Kaye.
That would be great. That wouldn't be confusing at all.
Welcome to the real Mark Kaye show. Will the real Mark Kaye please stand up?
Yeah, and then I'll get you on the radio with Howard Stern.
There we go, my cousin.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I wish. But okay, now, what is your opinion now? I mean, Gary Vee is going off on Snapchat now. Oh my God, he is like ballistic, getting everybody to try to get on Snapchat on now. He's a big believer. Why do you think it took the extra year or two that everybody now is hitting Snapchat?
That's a great question. I think what happens is, and one of the biggest Snapchatters in the world, probably Mr. Snapchat, is Sean Doris, a guy named Sean McBride. And if you ever Google Snapchat, he's the one that comes up. He's the only guy that's famous because of Snapchat. You have people like Jerome Jarre, who was a Viner who jumped to Snapchat. Logan Paul, same thing. You have all these people that were big in another platform and then became huge on Snapchat. Well, Sean Doris was the first ever standalone Snapchat star. And I spoke with him a while back. We're good friends now, but I spoke with him. One of the first conversations I had with him, he said, look, in order to become big on a platform, you've either got to be first or you've got to be big somewhere else and then make the jump. And that was really, Snapchat was 2 years old. It was in its infancy. So now I think it's gotten to the point, and Snapchat's the same way. It wasn't the first social media, but it's been building and building and building. And now you're to the point where it's big enough that people realize they realize it's someplace they need to be. And I've seen my demographic shift. When I started talking Snap, every Snap I got was from a 14-year-old girl. They would try, I interviewed
Mark.
My wife was questioning my motives for a while, but for the first 3 or 4 months, that's about all I got. And then it graduated. I got some 20-year-olds, then some dudes. Depending on who I interviewed, I would get a different demographic. But now every day, I get at least 100 new Snapchat followers every single day, and they're dudes our age. Yep. There's women who are moms. There's people you would never think you would see on Snapchat because it has broken that mainstream. It is everywhere. When you're watching the news and people are telling you, when you have ABC's GMA and the Today Show telling you to follow them on Snapchat, it's mainstream. That's when. Well,
that's what happened with Periscope too. We had a lot of those newscasters saying, "Hey, I'm on Periscope now," and
Al Roker made Periscope. He props to him. He was on Periscope before anyone else from television. And I think
he froze. He froze, and that's an interesting picture of him freezing. Are you there? Is anybody else there? He froze. I just want to make sure it was him and not me. Mark, you may have to refresh. All right, let me reopen that up and get him back in here. I found out about Periscope from watching Ellen. Yep, Greg. Yep. That's what it is. Some of the big names get in there, and then that's what they do. There he is.
Hey! What was it? Something I said?
You said Al Roker. No. No, but Al Roker's got that Al Roker Labs, obviously. He's staying on front of what's going on. Obviously saw something big about Periscope in the beginning, and obviously Meerkat, too, I know he was involved with. So. Oh,
yeah. And Jimmy Fallon did Meerkat. I got into Meerkat because I was watching Jimmy Fallon practice his monologues, which I loved. I thought that was great. But nobody uses Meerkat anymore. So, you have to make.
Yeah, I think you should call up Brian and have another conversation about Periscope versus Meerkat.
That was one of the best. Brian Fanzo, by the way, is such a great guy, and I'm so glad I bitched about Meerkat on Twitter because if I didn't, I think I said Meerkat is dead. and he caught
Yeah.
he glommed onto that and
Oh,
challenged me.
did he go off?
Oh, he was not happy at all.
I remember your Skype thing.
Oh yeah, it was a good 2-hour debate, but two great things came out of that. Number one, I became friends with Brian Fanzo, and number two, I was eventually proven right. So, those are two great things. It's a feather in my cap.
Oh my God. So with everything that's going on, I mean, Periscope. Now, what have you been doing with Periscope? Because when we started with Periscope, it was all about tap for hearts, and we wanted to stay on leaderboards, and we were all doing that in the beginning. Then we all kind of got in our head, wait a minute, it's not just about the hearts. Let's get engaged. Let's have fun with the audiences. You started up your Flash Perry mobs, which I thought was
Scope
brilliant.
Mob,
Scope mobs. Tell people about the Scope mobs. Are you still doing them?
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. The holidays really kind of took a bite out of my social media usage. For like 2 or 3 weeks, I was off of pretty much everything, hanging with the fam, traveling around, taking a break from my radio show. But basically what happens with the Scope Mob is at one point I guess, and like you said, from day one, you and I were on there begging for hearts and getting followers, and we were on the leaderboard for forever. And being on the Periscope leaderboard in the early days was great because people would follow you. They had no idea who you were, but they would just.
Oh, he's on the board. You must follow him.
Yeah, this guy must know something. He's on the board. Little did they. It was only later that they found out I knew nothing. But so anyway, I had a pretty decent chunk of followers, and one day I was watching. Do you know Justice from LA? Okay, so I'm watching Justice in LA, and he's doing one of his preachy things, and I was in a good mood. I felt motivated by him, and I thought, well, this is pretty cool. And I invited my followers, which I'd never actually done before. I didn't even realize. I was just sitting in the car line waiting to pick my kids up from school, watching Justice, and I invited my followers, not even thinking of anything of it, just thinking, this guy's cool, I'll invite some people. Well, he went from like 15 viewers to about 57 or 60 in like that.
Seconds.
And he started freaking out. And the reaction was priceless. And I'm watching, he's like, 60 viewers. Oh my God, I got 60 viewers. God, Mark Kaye. Oh my God, this is great. Hello, everybody. And I was like, whoa, that was the most entertaining thing I'd ever seen on Periscope. So then I thought to myself, that's something I hadn't realized, the power of having those followers. So I made it a regular habit of going on to like random Periscopes where there were maybe 5 or 6 viewers, inviting all of my followers, and then just enjoying the reaction of the person when they became super famous for 2 or 3 minutes. Eventually, it evolved into the hashtag Scope Mob. We started doing it at a scheduled time. We would have inside jokes. There's a regular crew, and I mean, the most we've gotten people up to 200 or 300 viewers in a flash. So it's been pretty fun.
I've seen some of them where you do. I love when you go into the foreign countries and they're like, all of a sudden they're talking in another language, and 300 people. They're, sí, señora.
Yeah, I did a YouTube compilation of some of our early ones. So if you go to YouTube and Google Scope Mob or search for Scope Mob, you'll be able to check it out. But I do them now. I used to do them every day, but again, live streaming it's a time crunch. Mm-hmm. And as I've been starting to grow my Sunday night show, they've been taking that's been taking a lot of time out of my week. So now I try to do it bi-weekly. And I'm still trying to save the best ones and do compilations for YouTube so that people will be able to see them.
Now, are you still using it in the morning during your show on the radio with, what is it, WAPE?
Yeah, that's right. We do a morning show with Megan. I haven't in a while, actually, and I don't know why. I should probably do that. That's how you started.
Yeah,
no, we did really good. It was a lot of fun, and it kept me busy during the commercial breaks. It was something to do.
And it was something for them to see behind the scenes. That's what I thought was great. I mean, that's where Periscope and these live streaming things came. It brought you to areas that people never got exposed to. I don't like to use that word all the time, but behind the camera, behind in the DJ booth, all those different areas. And now all of a sudden it was like, wow, we're talking live with the DJ and the music's playing and he's making fun of Megan and blah, 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 right. Having all this good time. And it gave them a little bit more of a close feel of what's going on with you.
No, that is true. I do. You know what? I do use it when we have celebrities come in, but I haven't been using it on a daily basis. My Sunday show has really been where I've been focusing my Periscope efforts. And one of the reasons I do that is because I actually broadcast the entire show through Periscope. So not only are you watching me, but you're hearing the callers, you're hearing the comments, you're hearing all the sound clips. And that's been great because I get calls from, I'm in 4 markets right now. I'm in Orlando, Jacksonville, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Dayton, Ohio. But when I Periscope my show, because I'm giving out an 800 number and I can take live phone calls, I get calls from Las Vegas, from Minneapolis,
Jersey.
You've called me. Euro Maestro called me. We were talking about, I don't know if you remember when the guys, the American Marines thwarted the attack on the train.
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking about that. And all of a sudden the phone rings and it's Euro Maestro calling from France because he was watching me on Periscope. So, I mean, it's been a great way to basically take my 4-city radio audience and make it international.
Oh, exactly.
And in fact, I'm speaking. There's a talk show seminar in Miami in March, and they've invited me to come talk about how I use Periscope to basically make any. I mean, you can make any show international like that.
Exactly, and that was one of the things we were discussing. I remember a lot of times through the Periscopes, and it's basically your own television station.
Oh yeah,
it's you create a show, whatever you want. If it's the Scope Mob, if it's this, I was doing business. I mean, everybody had their choice of doing everything. I noticed Ann Miller, A Faith said, "Yes, do your radio show again. I miss it," in the chat.
Oh yeah.
so there's one of your radio peeps.
You know what? I will do it tomorrow morning. As a matter of fact, do you know Aaron Roth from Archon Mounts?
Yes.
Robert, have you been in touch with him?
Yeah.
One of the other great things about Periscoping that show was I bought, I've been through 1,000 of these tripods for your cell phone because I use them for Snapchat, I use them for Periscope, I use them for everything. And they kept breaking. Well, one day I went on Amazon and I found one that I loved. It was by Archon. It was the tripod by Archon. And I used it and I loved it and it never broke. I never had a problem with it. And one day my co-host Megan says, "Hey, can I borrow that for like 20 minutes?" And I said, "Sure." I gave it to her for 20 minutes and she broke it. And I was furious. I was so mad.
Get on Megan.
So we were on Periscope and I was talking to her about it. And I was like, "I can't believe you broke my Archon mount. It's my favorite. You owe me a new one." And Aaron Roth, who's the president of the Archon company, just so happened to be watching the Periscope. So he tweeted at me and said, "Send me your address. I'm going to send you a bunch of products that Megan can't break." And lo and behold, we were going to Periscope Summit. I said, "Look, I'm leaving for Periscope Summit." He said, "I'll send it to your hotel." So I got to Periscope Summit. There was this huge box waiting for me. And it had, easily $1,000 worth of Archon mounts. And I came home, I gave tripods to my boss. I gave them to my wife. I was like, I gave Megan one and said, "Here, now you have your very own tripod. Stay away from mine." It was awesome. So you do meet some incredible people.
Oh, definitely. Platform. I mean, people got sponsorships out of things. There was tons of stuff going on Periscope. So Tina wanted to know, I saw she asked a question real quick.
Yep.
What are you using most? Like Snapchat, Periscope, Blab, you kind of mentioned you haven't been on Blab that much. Are Snapchat and Periscope your main two, or do you use any other things in social media for yourself? Or
yeah, well, you know what? It's funny you should mention that. I got into Facebook a lot more after they verified my account because they had Facebook mentions.
Right.
And for a while, that was the only way you could broadcast. And what I found was when I would do a Facebook mention broadcast, the reach was ridiculous. And it lived there as a video afterwards, the sharing. And because it's Facebook video and they want to promote it, they would put it in so many people's feeds.
Right.
So, it's so funny. I wear all these different hats, and it's tough for me because I'm bald. But it's tough for me to keep them all straight. My Facebook fan page I use for my political talk show. My Facebook regular page I use for my entertainment show, and then my Snapchat is this whole other beast as well. But to answer Tina's question, I would say I'm pretty much Snapchat is my number one go-to. In fact, later today, I'll be presenting a new episode of Talk and Snap, the first one of the year. So be sure to watch that. And then Periscope and Facebook are probably my other big two.
Now, just out of curiosity, did you hear the news this week about Meevee?
About who?
Meevee, MEVEE.com.
Oh no, what's Meevee? I missed that.
Oh, it got it was launched 4 days ago.
Oh.
And I'll explain it in a way that I know you'll understand.
Okay.
Take your Periscope and put it in a pot. Now add the catch. Now add Blab. Now add Skype. Mix it up. Put it in the oven for 350 and come out and you got a Meevee.
Oh, wow.
It's everything. And
Meevee rocks.
Yeah, it's I got hooked on it the day it came out.
Oh,
Literally.
really?
Literally. Fanzo's all over it. It's blowing up fast. MeV is off your phone broadcasting.
Okay.
So in 2 weeks, they're adding a split screen to it, like Blab, so you can pull people from your audience and come in and out with people.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
they're recorded and they always stay there. They will not disappear after 24 hours. You
All right.
automatically have a URL, so
All
people
right.
to go
I'm
out.
getting it now because I don't want the other Mark Kaye to get my username.
Yeah, really. You call it the Marquet Show.
Right.
I had the CEO on the other night for 4 hours. We were going over everything with it.
Oh,
They
really?
also have a little bit of YouTube in their mix
Oh,
because on the bottom of their website, there's a little thing called partners. You click and
okay.
you apply to it, and you would get it because obviously with the verification and the media and stuff. If you average twice a week over 400 views on your Mevies, they are already profitable.
Really?
They have 1,500 brands that are starting to buy in and brand themselves on the replays with banners.
All right. Well, you said my favorite word, profitable.
And they're sharing that income like YouTube.
Well,
50,
Robert,
50
I gotta go download Meeting.
I didn't know if you knew about it yet or not because it's been going nuts. And the quality of it literally just came out Sunday.
Okay, all right, maybe that's why.
And the quality of the video is HD quality.
Okay, so what do I then replace, Robert? Do I get away from Periscope? Do I need to be on Blab still?
I would just start doing a little bit of MeV here and there and see how you like it first. I'm not a big person of. I mean, listen, you're talking to the wrong person about replacing. Yeah. I'm on everything, you know that.
That is 100% true.
But that's my job. I have to be on all of them to know them. So.
No. And you know what? It's so funny because I work for a large broadcast. I work for Cox Media Incorporated. And that was the bad thing about getting into all of this stuff. And when, especially when the Business Insider piece came out, all of my bosses read it. And so now I get bugged every 5 minutes by some radio station that we own or some newspaper that we own. And they're like, hey, I need you to have an hour with this person. I need you to have it because I'm supposedly the expert, which little do they know.
Little do they know you just kind of fell into it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, MeV. I'm gonna get on me. I'm gonna become the first MeV.
Now,
I guarantee
when you're broadcasting,
yeah,
or as a watcher, you can share the broadcast. You could share it on Twitter. You could share it on Facebook. You could share it on Tumblr. You can share it on LinkedIn. You can share it on Pinterest. You can share it anywhere. The link is what.
Oh, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
No, the link is what.
So when you share it out, it's a link to go to your broadcast. Now remember, what's great about this versus Periscope. The link. Remember, after 24 hours, when you share things out on Periscope, the link is broken because the Periscope is gone. Here they stay permanently, so you continue to get the replays on it. But when you share it out and somebody's on their desktop on Twitter or Facebook or something else and they click the link, it opens up in a browser. Any browser. Safari, Chrome, whatever they use. Which means now your link for them to watch live or the replay can be anywhere in the world, any time of the world, any browser. And they can actually, if you're live, sign in through the browser with their Twitter handle and participate in the conversation. So they don't need the app.
That's fantastic. So
you can only broadcast from the phone. You can only broadcast.
Do I have to search from MeV or is it Google searchable? How do I find the
No,
URL?
just go on the Apple Store and just MEVEE. It's a little it's a peace sign of a hand with
But if I'm on MeV and let's say I want to search for, videos by Robert C. Stern or, how to get a cat.
You swipe twice on the thing on the main screen. It goes to people. There's a magnifying glass. You could search for all the people that you want.
Gotcha. Okay. And then the URLs go what? Through Twitter or through anywhere you said?
Anywhere you want to say. You can send it in an email.
That's awesome. That's
And
great.
then they could go watch the replays. So you could do this great Meevee with an interview, let's say with Jonas or one of these guys, and you Meevee it, and it's always there. Oh, by the way, they will also give you an embedded code for all your Meevees so that you can embed them on your websites.
And it's for iPhone only right now. Grumpy Butt Funny says. By the way, that's one of the best things I've ever seen.
Grumpy Butt Funny? Yeah. 30 to 60 days, it'll be out on Android.
Okay, cool.
That's fantastic. So I didn't know if you knew about that. Yeah, no, yeah.
Robert C. Stern, I'm so glad I know you. Next time, email me this stuff.
It's literally only 4 days old. I mean, it's hilarious. It's like
going what it is? Crazy. It's this whole CES thing. All these people at CES, they get the first.
They announced it there. They were open on Sunday. They launched it Sunday as a soft launch, and then they decided on Wednesday they were going to announce it at CES, but it got out on Tuesday morning to everybody else.
That's hilarious. All right, good. Meevee. I'm going to do that. Next time you see me, it's going to be on Meevee.
Here we go. Meevee, Periscope, Snapchat. So being the Snapchat expert that you are.
Oh, of course, yes.
What tips do you give for Snapchat for people that either A, are just starting or want to get into it?
That's so funny. I've actually never been asked that question. I'm totally kidding.
Are you serious?
No, I'm kidding. And you know what? There's two things that people that are, if you've ever started on Snapchat or if you're on Snapchat and you can't quite grasp it yet, there's two reasons why. Hang on, I'm getting some kind of message, late breaking. There's two things that you need to remember. Number one is that it's called Snapchat, which means it's originally for chatting. And a lot of people forget that. What they'll do is they'll just use it as a broadcast mechanism, which is okay. If you're Kim Kardashian and you just want like another venue to broadcast your butt, that's great. People will watch it. But for most of us, we're not just going to broadcast stuff and have everybody watch it, which is why the chat part of it, Snapchat, makes it so effective. You can really build an audience by chatting back and forth. And people that do take the time to send you a chat or send you a private snap really expect and deserve to get one back. And if they don't, sometimes they get grumpy. So if you're just starting out, a great way to build your tribe and to build your brand on Snapchat is to make sure you're not just snapping, but you're also chatting, because that's what people really want. So that's number one. The second thing is something that we talked about earlier, which is don't try to change to fit the app. Make the app change to fit you. And what I mean by that is when I first downloaded Snapchat, I spent the first few weeks trying to draw because that was the cool, unique feature. You take a picture and then you can draw on it. I was drawing wigs on myself. It was really sad. And after several weeks, I realized, hey, nobody's following me. Nobody's snapping me. Nobody's watching my videos or my snaps. Why is that? And then I realized it's because I'm a horrible artist. I have no artistic talent. I can't draw on paper. I don't know why I would possibly think I could
come on, you make a mean stick figure.
Yeah, thank you. So then I switched it, and I took, like I said, the skill that I have, which is talking and doing a talk show, and I figured out a way to put that on Snapchat. And when I started doing that, like I said, that's when I started really to explode on the app and to get a lot of notoriety and make a lot of really good connections. Because when you have the only talk show on Snapchat, all the big Snapchat stars want to be on it. And Kevin Jonas from the Jonas Brothers, he reached out to me one day. I was in the studio. It was like 8:30 in the morning. And he's your neighbor. He lives in New Jersey too.
Yes, he does.
He wrote to me and he said, hey, it's Kevin Jonas. Can I be on your show? And I thought it was somebody messing with me. So
yeah,
okay, sure, Kevin Jonas. Yeah, whenever you want. And then I just ignored him. And then what he did was he sent me a video of himself. So I would see that it was him. He's like, hey, Mark, no, it's really me. Look, see? And he showed me his hand.
And you're probably sitting there going, "Oh God."
I'm like, "Oh, nice to meet you." Sure.
Go back to your message. What did I write to him?
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't make any stupid jokes, did I? Probably.
But that's it. I mean, it's funny because I'm trying to get into Snapchat, and it's funny because I'm watching people with Snapchat, and then they're on Periscope, and then they're on Meevee, and they have other businesses. Like you do, you have your radio show and you're trying to get interviews and you got to talk to advertisers. You got to do all this different stuff. Oh, and yeah. I just amazed how much time they spend on Snapchat, on Periscope, on this with the other side of the business.
That is
and
correct.
How do you fit that all in?
Well, one of the best things you can do is use Snapchat or use Periscope to just show people, like you said, the background of what you're already doing. And that means that you're basically sharing content. If you're creating content anyway, like for example, I create.
What are you looking at?
Sorry, I was looking at my computer because I told you I got 3 things going here. But if you're doing a radio show or you're doing a live seminar, if you're creating a YouTube video, then you can simultaneously create content for these other platforms. You can create Periscope and for Snap, the way Jimmy Fallon did and Ellen did with Meerkat, for example. They were already out there doing their monologues. They just gave people a different idea of what the monologue process looked like. Most Viners that I know, Viners will use their Snapchat account to show you the stuff they're doing when they're not vining, or the behind the scenes of their vine, or some of the other stuff that they get. So, that's another way to do it. You kind of have to figure out where it all fits in your life. And, maybe it doesn't fit in your life too. That's another thing that people need to realize, that you don't necessarily have to use everything. I would pick 2 or 3 that you think you can use and use them really well. There's people out there that are on Snapchat and have no idea what Periscope is. There are tons of people on Periscope who've never ever done a Blab. And, there are people on Blab who've never done either. It doesn't matter as long as you're really good and you're consistent, because that's another thing.
Yep.
Being consistent on your platform is another way to make a name for yourself. Oh, and a key on consistency, because people often get confused. They think consistent means every day or daily. It doesn't. Consistent doesn't mean daily. You'll kill yourself trying to do something every day, especially if you have another job. Consistent means on a regular basis. So if it's once a week, do it once a week. If it's once a day, if you can handle that, that's fine. Jenna Marbles, for example, on YouTube, she does her videos once a week, every Wednesday, and she's a multimillionaire. So, just consistency is a regular set schedule, not every day.
So I want to ask a question, one other on Snapchat. I watch a lot of different Snapchats.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see people, they do 3-4 snaps and that's their story for the day, or 6-7. And then I got other people that do like 40 snaps in a day.
Yeah.
Is that overkill?
I mean, here's the thing about
what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. And basically, when you're doing snaps, there's 2 ways to do it. I can just send you a snap one-on-one, or I can build a story, which is something
the story I'm talking about. Yeah.
So I try to keep my stories under 120 seconds, because 2 minutes of me is way too much as it is. But if you think about it, if I snap every, say, 15 minutes throughout the day, that's 4 snaps an hour times, let's say I'm awake for, 15 hours, 4 times, that's 60 snaps. So that's a lot of snaps. And some people do that because to them, it's not a lot. They're only snapping once every 15 minutes. But let's say you've been away from your phone all day, you come back, you go to your Snapchat, you're getting them all at once. So it seems like a lot of snaps.
Exactly.
There's a woman.
And the more people you follow, you sit down and go, oh, let me check my Snapchats. Let me see what people are up to. And I'm like, I hit one and go. It's like 3 minutes in. I'm like, all right, done with it. Then I got to go to the next person. Then I got to go there. Exactly. And if you're following 40 people, and I mean, that's being nice because you follow as much as you can because you love stories.
Right. Yeah.
Just the watching side will be crazy.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And that's the good and bad thing about Snapchat. You can give people as much or as little as you want, and they can take as much or as little as they want too. The one thing you want to realize is that you want to keep bumping your story, which means, when you post on your story, for example, if you followed me, I would move to the top of your list. But then if someone else posts after me, they're going to move to the top of your list. So I keep going down. Well, what happens with me is, I'll post a story at 5 p.m. on a Friday, and then I'll wait 2 or 3 hours, and I'll post another snap so that my whole story gets bumped up to the top, and that's a way for me to get more and more views. And really skilled expert snappers will tell you a story, not all at once, but over a 2 or 3 hour period. In fact, you'll see if you follow Sean Doris or Michael Platko or Evan Garber or Cyrene, they'll do a story at, let's say 5 o'clock p.m., and then they'll snap again at 7, and they'll snap again at 9, and they'll snap again at midnight, and then first thing in the morning, because you're getting your name to the top of everyone's list. And every time someone picks up their phone because they're getting off of work, or they're waking up, or they're done with their date, they're going to go to their Snapchat, see your name first, watch, and you're going to get more views which then you can turn around and sell to an advertiser.
Okay. I love how Tristan, I don't know if you know Tristan, All Things Networking.
Yeah.
Why were you away from your phone, Mark Kaye? Anyone would think you'd have other things to do.
I wasn't away from my phone. I'm just trying to pretend like I am. I know.
But you know what I loved about in the beginning of Periscope? I mean, backtracking away from Snapchat a little bit, because, Snapchat is where you were kind of more known and then brought it over to Periscope. And I know you were involved with the shorties.
Mm-hmm. Involved, meaning I didn't win one.
I said it purposely, Mark. I was trying to be nice.
I'm hoping to be involved again this year.
I thought I said it the right way.
No, you did a great job. That was perfect. It didn't hurt anyone's feelings.
But what Periscope, I feel like, did for you from an outsider's point of view is, you were known on Snapchat and you were bringing audience slowly over from Snapchat and you were building it on Periscope and you started really getting into coaching.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because you have to really look at the audience. And with Snapchat, people in Snapchat, they're clearly, number one, they just want to be entertained. They're just like, make me laugh, make me shocked, give me an LOL. That's all they're looking for. It's kind of like Vine. When Vine came out, no one really knew what to do with it, but they realized it's all just dumb 6-second sketches. And that's what everyone wants on Vine. So with Snapchat, people want entertainment. And I quickly realized with Periscope, and I think you and I both did this for a while, that because we were there from day one. I mean, I got on Periscope, and Periscope had been out for 3 hours when I got on.
We both got it around the same time, about 8 a.m.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So there was no expert. We were all learning together. Someone would figure something out, and you would tell me, and I would tell you, and then we would all broadcast. So the first month, all you had were 10 guys who were Periscope experts who gave Periscope tips. And that's all we did all day. Is we would just, it was me, you, Alex Pettit, Mark Shaw. Mark Shaw was the worst because he looks exactly like me. And so everyone thought Mark Shaw and I were the same person for at least a year. The only difference is he has a British accent. So that's all we did.
By the way, chicks dig the accent.
I know they do, right? I know.
Mm.
But anyway, eventually you have to stop doing that because, everybody now knows kind of how to use Periscope. And there's only so many times you can tell people, hit the bird if you want to send it out on Twitter. So, you kind of evolve. And coaching is one of the evolutions of that. What I realized was because Periscope is not that, hey, I want to just be entertained by you. It was an audience of entrepreneurs, business people, professionals who were looking to get into live streaming and felt comfortable with Periscope for whatever, more so than Snapchat. Snapchat's very daunting to the professional audience, but Periscope, people just jumped on from a professional business standpoint. But they needed, like you said, coaching or advice. So that's kind of how I jumped into that. And that's been doing well for me.
Yeah, because I signed up to your thing in the beginning. I forgot what it was called. The
Social Pro Report.
The Social Pro Report. Now you get the emails, and I'm sitting there going, "He's moving in on my territory." No.
Hey, it's a big enough pot for everybody.
All right, I'll leave Florida to you.
All right, yeah.
Just make sure you do the early bird special at 4:30.
That's right.
But yeah, you started getting involved with that, and I know you had a Periscope course at one point, and then you were coaching on other things, and you're staring at me like you're frozen. So I don't know if you're even with us at this point. There you go. Okay. You just went blank screen on me, Mark. You may need to refresh one more time. He's actually on his phone, David, too, so it kind of adds a little bit to it. So, Mark, refresh it again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Okay, here he goes. Kaboom.
Hello?
I said, we're just, we'll put a little commercial in there for the replay. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. By the way, good news is we're number 1 on the Blab list, so that's nice.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, actually, you know what the thing is with the Blab? Everybody's Blab list is different. It might be number 1 on yours, it might be number 1 on mine, but on other people's, it could be number 3, it could be number 4. It all depends on the friends they have, and there's some algorithm that they work with. Everybody's got an algorithm.
I know. I hate algorithms. I was never good at math.
So, yeah, Chocolate Johnny uses Snapchat for business and loves it. And what would you say for people for business using Snapchat then? Because that's a different story now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the biggest thing with Snapchat is you can't sell anything on Snapchat because the Snapchat audience knows when they're being sold to and they hate it. So Snapchat has to be, again, it's entertainment. That's what people really need to realize. It's an entertaining platform. And if you want to see really great brands that use it well, Taco Bell is a great one. They tell stories whenever they, are trying to create a new product or just get people involved. I mean, God, there's so many great brands that use Snapchat so well. What is it? Grubhub started off. They were one of the first. And my buddy Michael Platko, who's a big Snapchatter, was in charge of their Grubhub account forever. And they just had the most creative ways of giving out coupons and sharing deals. So, I would say even GMA and Today Show do a fairly decent job. Jimmy Fallon uses his Snapchat to give away tickets to his show every day.
Oh, wow.
He has an intern out in New York City somewhere, and she starts snapping at like noon, and she'll snap a clue every 15 or 20 minutes until somebody finds a pair of tickets. And I don't know if you've ever tried to see the Jimmy Fallon show, but you can't get tickets for about a year and a half. So it's a great way to get the audience involved in his Snapchat. It's all about creativity. You can't sell. That's the last thing you can do. And I've learned that from experience. I did something called the 24-hour Snapchat project, where I stayed awake for 24 hours in New York and I snapped I know you know a little bit about this too.
Oh, I've never done anything for 24 hours. Oh, wait.
And I snapped every hour on the hour, and I had every hour sponsored. And it was great. I got tons of views. I got a lot of publicity, but the sponsors didn't really get a lot of response because people didn't care who sponsored my hour. They didn't care about the website that I was posting. And so that was, a colossal failure for them. For me, it turned out really well. But it's something that you learn, that people, they don't want to be sold or they don't want to be told go here. They want to be entertained on Snapchat. There you
go. What, are you doing any speaking now? Because you did a little bit. I know you went over to, what was it, Dallas?
Yeah. Well, oh, no, Dallas was with Brian Fanzo. No,
yep.
Get this. He went to Dallas.
And you were Skyped in.
Here, and we did a blab together. So he got the free trip. I was basically in my office on blab. He's like, this is great. We're going to bring Mark in via blab. And then I realized he's like in a luxury hotel getting free dinner. I was like, I see how this works. But no, I did Dallas, was great. I've done a bunch of stuff here in Florida. I spoke in Orlando. I'm speaking again, I told you, in Miami. I did the Periscope Summit where I was the MC.
Right.
Fun fact, Brian Fanzo is now the new MC. I don't know how he's.
And I'm not speaking at this one.
Oh, you're not?
Nope. I'm going to it, but I'm not speaking at this one. I didn't want to get anything settled up. It's crazy now. It's just Periscope built my business. I mean, I had a business before, but Periscope and Blab and now Mevi and all these things, they exploded business for me. And I'll go to Summit. I don't know if I'm staying the whole week though, because I just got too much going on. Yeah, no, I can't. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to even be there myself. I'm just going to watch it on Periscope. And Africa's not even hosting. She's speaking this time. Oh, that's good. So she got moved up a level. You got moved down, and I don't know what happened to Brian. Yeah, I'm like, what did I know? I thought I was really good. Is Greg Cardone going to be there because he's a trip? He said he may come out. I saw him the other day on Blab, and he was in North Korea at the moment. He said North Korea. Interesting. I don't know if they're letting him out. No. Maybe North Carolina. I don't know. No, he wrote Korea. Grant's great. I hope he gets out in time for Periscope Summit. But he's one. You know what? It's so funny because I've also had him on my radio show as a result of meeting him, through Periscope. Well, I don't know of anybody else you had on your radio show. There was you. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was your first one actually from Periscope. I know. Yeah, I mean, Periscope's been a wealth of actually. It has been a great way for me to create content for my radio show. I also do the same thing. I put the wrong T-shirt on today. What are you wearing? The Jets? Yeah, but I could have worn the Marquez Show shirt. I just thought of it. Really? Do you still even have it? Yes.
Oh, okay, good. All right, as long as you have it.
Raina wears it to
I could have
bed.
worn that t-shirt too.
Raina wears
We could
it.
have been matched.
Raina wears it to bed. No.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm getting some use.
A 9-year-old, she wears it as a nightgown.
That's what my kid does too. No, but the other thing I use Snapchat for on my radio show is, sometimes on Sunday night, especially during football season, it's tough to get callers. So what I will do is I will go on Snapchat and say, hey, here's one of the things we're talking about today. Send me your opinion, and I'll get great little 10-second video clips, and I'll just run the audio on my show, and that has been so entertaining, so much fun, and again, a great way to involve social media to create content for traditional media.
If anybody's got a question, I didn't ask anybody on only because Mark's on the phone, so when more streams come on, it'll slow it down a little bit for him. But if you got a question, if one person wants to jump on at a time, about Snapchat, about social media, about the entertainment industry with social media, please feel free. We got about, 10, 12 minutes left, and then we'll because I know you got a bunch of stuff to do. You probably got to go get your kids. I got to go get mine.
No, you know what? I have a meeting with a guy here in Jacksonville who wants to talk about Snapchat. We're going to Starbucks. So
see, there you go. I think you should Snapchat. I think you should Snapchat the meeting.
I don't know exactly what he's going to ask me yet.
Uh-oh.
But we'll see. Yeah, that'd be great. Who's Vicky Fitch, right? Vicky Fitch.
Who?
Who's Vicky? Greg says I should have Vicky Fitch on my show.
Okay, Vicky Fitch is another Periscoper who I met and got very, very friendly with. She's a blast. We actually have on Blab now, Monday nights at 10:30 Eastern. You're usually sleeping because you got to get up early. It's on our replays, or go to hesaidredsaid.com. That is our podcast we started on Blab.
Oh, good.
And it's about 15% business, social media, because she's social media on the West Coast and stuff like that. And about 85% of basically picking on me.
Oh, love it.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you haven't heard of it yet and jumped in,
No. That's the rating winner.
No, it's a lot of fun. We have this term called Fitch Slap now because her last name is Fitch.
Oh, good.
So every time I get out of hand, she goes, "That's it. You're getting a Fitch Slap." No.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna have her. I'm gonna book her. Steven says book her. Great. We're gonna do it.
Oh, she's lively. She's great. She's actually gonna be doing some of the cities with me. She'll be in Arizona with me, and she'll be at Summit.
Okay.
And she's a lot of fun. She knows her business too. She knows the stuff, coaching, marketing, business in that areas. But she's a blast. Vicky Fitch.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So what type of people have you been? No, explain. The morning show is the radio show. It's mornings, it's traffic, it's news, it's craziness, it's music. What is your Sunday night show about?
It's funny. You should have, we have and it's very similar to like my morning show is very Snapchat. It's music and entertainment. We make fun of each other. We talk about current events. My Sunday night show is more of it is a political talk show, but it's more of an entertaining political talk show than what you typically think of. Mm-hmm. We own a bunch of stations here, and one of them is a talk station. And the thing about political talk radio is it's a much older audience. And the problem with old audiences, they don't get younger, they just die. So my company, a couple of years back, I was talking to them. I said, hey, I have an idea for a talk show. And they said, you know what? We're actually looking to experiment with youth-oriented or young-oriented talk radio that would appeal to a younger audience, a millennial or a 30-something, because that's an audience that typically doesn't gravitate toward talk radio. And I said, well, gee, I actually have some ideas, and I'm kind of close to that age group. So why don't we start something? And I started here in Jacksonville.
I caught that. I'm kind of close.
Kind of close. Yeah, I'm not that close. They gave me an hour in Jacksonville on Sunday nights. And after about 6 months, we got a call from Orlando. And they said, hey, we heard your show. We want to add it too. So we jumped up to 2 hours. And then a couple months after that, I was joined by Tulsa. And I recently got Dayton, Ohio. And then the most exciting thing was about a year into it, Herman Cain, who ran for president and has a daily talk show out of Atlanta on WSB. He's on 160 stations. He was taken off for Christmas, and they called me and said, hey, will you come up to Atlanta and fill in for Herman Cain for a couple days? So I got to go up to Atlanta and fill in for Herman Cain for 2 days. And that was incredible. That was 6 million people It was an amazing experience. And ever since then, I filled in for him several times since then, but they don't fly me to Atlanta anymore. It's kind of like Brian Fanzo in Dallas. I just do it from here. They're like, we can just patch you in from Jacksonville.
We love your work. Stay there. We'll patch you in.
That's exactly right. Yeah. No need to pay for a plane ticket. Just get in your car.
We don't want to take you to dinner. No.
We
got to spend more time with you then.
You ordered too much. You ordered too much lobster. Never again.
So, I mean, with everything that's going on, I mean, where do you see in your eyes with the social media industry, with all the new apps coming out and everything else? What do you predict for 2016? I mean, not that we were able to, this time last year, predict what just happened, but where do you see things going?
I mean, last year was so ridiculous. Like you said, it was Periscope. Snapchat really came into its own. I mean, Facebook mentions took off. It was every minute of my life last year was broadcast somewhere in the world. Plus, I was doing 2 radio shows. It was, I hope to God nothing happens new because I can't keep up.
Well, now you got to go to MeV.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and I'm starting to see this, and I don't know if you are as well, but I'm starting to see Periscope kind of level off. I think, not necessarily that the gimmick is gone, but you're going to get into your hardcore users and your part-time users. People I don't think they have the time for hours of live streaming every day, either to watch it or to produce it. And that's why I think Snapchat has found its longevity. This MeV, I think, if it lasts forever and it's more of a on my schedule, I think that's something that people are really going to start gravitating back toward. If you look at the App Store, you'll see, for example, Snapchat is still in the top 5, top 10. People are downloading that like crazy. Periscope has dropped out of even, I think it's like 200 or something right now. So you need to really figure out what's going to be the sustainable format. There will always be users for all formats, but I think what you're going to find is that people are going to gravitate back toward kind of a smaller, shorter format of broadcast.
That's interesting. Yeah, because one of the things I obviously with all these apps coming out, it's getting a little crazy. It's not like the first few months that we were on what 10, 12 times a day. In the beginning, you almost wanted to just leave it on all the time. It was like, oh, I got to type a new title. No,
that's exactly right.
But it's like, definitely. I mean, I Periscope maybe once a day now, but now I also Facebook Live once a day. I'm doing a MeV once a day. I'm blabbing once a day. It is getting out there further and further. But I do think there is a place for a lot of them in their place. But it's like what you just said. At what level can that company sustain and stay?
Right.
Now, Periscope, yes, it has Twitter behind it. But at some point, they got to show they can make money. And the question is, with the amount of users they have, can they?
Yeah. And Facebook has become such an interesting thing because it just won't go away. Every year you hear Facebook's not cool anymore. Nobody uses Facebook. It's all a lie, by the way. Facebook is the #1 platform in the entire world. And if you don't believe me, just go and do a Facebook Live broadcast and you'll see how many people respond to it. More so than you'll ever have on Periscope. But it's going to be, I think, more of that coming together in a centralized place. And Facebook, I mean, God bless them, they've done it. They've centralized everything you'd want. There's video, there's audio, there's text. You can blog on there. You can do whatever you want. You can tag your friends. You can create groups. Facebook groups are my favorite new marketing platform. They're amazing. Facebook is your one-stop shopping, and that's why they're going to always dominate. These, Periscope and Twitter's now talking about growing to 10,000 characters because they realize people have more that they want to say, and they can do that on Facebook.
I'm not liking that also. I think it's going to hurt them more than it's going to help them.
Well, I mean, it's true, but evidently they're hurting. Otherwise, they wouldn't be looking to make the change. So I think what you're going to see even with Blab, I mean, you and I, we both know Sean, and it'll be interesting to see who gobbles up Blab and makes it part of their platform, or how does Blab go out and build on their platform so that it's not just a one-trick pony or a one-stop shop, but there's also, and you can see it with the whiteboard and everything else that they're doing. It'll be interesting, but I think people more and more are going to want to go to one place and get it all. and in smaller little bits.
Yeah. Plus, I think some people, because of Facebook, they feel a safety net that you have to have your profile situation. It's your friends. It's the people you connected with. You don't have to make it public. So with the Facebook Live, you're not going to get the open Bob trolls because these are people on Facebook that you're friends with already. And now you're just connecting a little bit differently. So it's a safety type thing. Like I know some people are using some applications where they do these ads on Facebook, and when they click them, they bring them back to their fan pages to fill out information and stuff because they're keeping them within Facebook. And again, that's that safety thing.
And I'll tell you, because like I said, my fan page now I use mostly for my radio show. Mm-hmm. And the reason I do that is because on Facebook, people love that quick soundbite, the meme. Some of my memes have got. I did a Donald Trump meme in November. It got over 1.5 million reach and like something like 50,000 shares. It was ridiculous. And Facebook has that power. Twitter, that's not going to happen to the average person. Even on Periscope, you and I, when we started, if we broke double digits, we were thrilled with the number of viewers. Then we broke triple digits and we were superstars. Now, sometimes I go on and I'm, hovering around 60 or 70, and that's a pretty good day. But with Facebook, there's always going to be 1 billion people using the platform. So I think, you're going to see as they keep tweaking and as they keep churning out competing products that are good. Facebook Mentions is a great product.
And even even the Facebook Live that's now coming out to everybody.
Correct.
Like I have Facebook Live. I don't have mentions, but I have the live, which goes on my profile.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great product. They've really done a great job. And of course, their advertising is leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. Their advertising is so great. It's totally not in your face. You can get rid of it. And it's stuff that really is targeted to you. So even if you're not in the market, you don't get offended by it because, hey, that's something you're actually interested in. I mean, they've just done something incredible. And I think that's going to be the model, of course, that people keep looking at.
David's like, I have such a different opinion on Facebook and their video options. David.
Well, that's the good thing about opinions.
All right. So how can people reach you if they have questions or thoughts on Snapchat, I know they can find you at Mark Kaye, just straight at Mark Kaye.
Snapchat is at Mark Kaye. Make sure there's 2 Ks in there. If you want me on Twitter, it's Mark Kaye, and then add the word show, Mark Kaye Show.
Like it's underneath over here on this. Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to someone type in my email, it's markkayshow@gmail.com. There's tons of, just Google me, and you'll find 5,000 different ways to get in touch with me.
I put the email in, Mark Kaye Show, double K.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Well, I thank you for coming on. It's 2:00. I know you got a meeting and everything else, and I got to go get a kid.
All right.
I'll
good luck with
swap with you.
No, I'm more excited about my meeting. No. I got kids of my own. I don't need any more.
Yeah, so I'll be down next month. I'll let you know when I'm going to be down there. It's I don't remember if it's a Monday or a Tuesday, but it's one of those 2 days, and I'll get down there because I wanted to hook up also with what's her name? Ashley. She's on the island over there. She was periscoping for a long time. The little shop on a little island off of Jacksonville.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Hey, are you doing like a live event when you're here? What's the deal?
Yeah, I'm doing it's a social media for small business summit.
Okay.
And it's paid tickets, $85. We'll get about 150, maybe 200 people in, and it's 5 hours of talking about social media for business.
Wow.
And
you can handle 5 hours?
Well, I got 3 speakers at each event, and we'll toss it around.
You have an event in Jacksonville on social media, and you haven't asked me to be a speaker?
Well, that was actually one of the questions we were going to go over. If I'm going to email you the dates to see if you're interested in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. Definitely email me. I would love to come and speak at your
event. The problem is it's 8:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. That means you won't be on the radio.
I'll be off at 10, so I can come by after that.
Oh, look at you. I'll come by on the after side.
Yeah. No, whatever. We'll figure it out.
We'll talk. I don't have a place set up where it's going to be, which place in Jacksonville yet, but we're selling the tickets already, and we're going to get into it, and we'll find a place down there.
See, that's what I love about you. You sell the tickets first, and then once you've sold the tickets, you're like, oh, hell, I got to find a place to do this. That's an entrepreneur right there. That's not people sell the product that they don't even have yet, and then they create it to fulfill demand. That's how you make money in this world.
There you go. All right. Go to your meeting. I thank you again for coming on. It was great seeing you again.
Bye. Love you.
Take care.